I guess my life's an open book. Anyone can take a look. No secrets here to hide. This is just me. Holidays, they come and go. Feelings change, people grow. And all I know. Yes.
एक शब्द सुनकर खुशियां बरसे.
Good morning. And just so that I remind you once again, when I say good morning, you say good morning. So let me see that you're here and all wide awake. So good morning. Very good. I feel like a teacher now. So we're going to start the first session. That is Sixpacks and Soulpack in just a couple of minutes. So make sure that you settle yourselves down. And a very small request, kindly keep your cell phones on silent. Thank you. Please don't blame it on me. Thank you for joining us. Good morning, everyone, and we're pleased to have you with us on day 3 of the Times of India Literary Carnival 2013. This wonderful event that seeks to bring Mumbai's passion into the literary space. As you can see, we have carefully selected authors, filmmakers, lyricists, foodie stars, and musicians to be a part of the festival that represents all of Mumbai's abiding and electric interests. This year's theme is especially pertinent to romance, love and violence, for we have been getting reminders of these strange bedfellows with chilling regularity. An abiding feature of the 3-year-old Lit Fest is the wall. I'm sure everybody has seen the wall, probably clicked pictures with it. This year it will feature iconic and rare stills and posters from cinema which resonate with our theme of romance, love and violence. The Times of India, which hosts the festival, has always sought to bring alive contemporary culture and marry it with our rich historical past. It is the world's largest circulating broadsheet with a daily circulation of over 4.5 million. And this year is special because it marks the paper's 175th jubilee. And a very warm welcome to everyone who's actually taken the time out for being here and joining us for this session. Thank you very much for joining us. And just in case if you do not know me, let me introduce myself. There's a gentleman who knows me for sure. How many of you know me? Have you seen me before? If you do, just raise your hands. Fantastic. 1, 2, 3. So let me reintroduce myself. Hi, my name is Akarshak and I'm going to be a host for today. It's now when you clap. Fantastic. You still remember that? No. Let's redo it. So, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Let me introduce myself. Hi, my name is Akarshak and I'm going to be a host for this day. So that's the best thing I can do at the moment. So enjoy yourself. Thank you. Trust me, I really can't blush at the moment. The app number would be 100 because they got a lot of complaints against me. So anybody here who, since you were waiting for the session to start, another couple of minutes before we kick off with the event, anybody here who could share their views and anything about the Times of India Literary Carnival that we were having? Can we switch on the mic, please? It's working. Yeah.
I've been reading Times of India ever since I started reading a newspaper. It's a long time. And many years back, there was a very big, nice function in Nehru Center where a similar question was asked. And I ended my observation with these 2 words, quo vadis times. I think it's much worse. Commercialization is jarring. I like to tear off those extra advertisement pages, sometimes 4 in the front. And sometimes you are too clever. They are stapled together or stuck together and all. Times is a wonderful paper, but I think with all the advertisement you are getting, it should be given to everybody in Bombay free. You can afford it. The obituary column, you have to hunt every day where it is placed. At least for heaven's sake, keep that respect for the departed. Have a reserved page. At least so that you don't have to see the dear departed, aaj kaun gaya. Aaj kaun aaya, wo to aajkal koi deta hi nahi hai. And nobody gives matrimonial acts because people go for the dinners without being invited. So nobody. And the engagement column also. If it is not here, it's not happening. I think it's a sham. Most of the events given in that are advertisements, and important events are not there. And this is a feedback from a lover of Times.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate that. Okay, anybody here who has a feedback on the Times Literary Carnival 2013? Yes, gentlemen.
This is the third year I'm attending, and I find it really beautiful, like, so many events, and it's something, this festival is something which I think was needed for a long, long time in a city like Bombay. So I think it's really beautiful you all are doing it.
Thank you so much. So, yes, sir. Probably the last feedback and then we start.
Yeah, hi, Akalshak Abit here. Especially the one thing I like here, the perspective of the authors itself. We read, but we read always from our own perspective, we put our own thinking. But when we see the authors here and they put the book in the right perspective, and when we see from that, it is really appreciating and more encouraging.
Alright, so ladies, thank you very much, sir, for your comment. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again. And the first session for the day is Sixpack and Soulpack, where Mr. Yash Billa talks about his new book and his life and his fraction journey with Shobha Day. So we have a couple of people who do not need any introductions, but nevertheless, starting out with Mr. Yash Billa, he has played a key role in the development and upbuilding of the diversified Yash Billa group of companies for well over 16 years. Thank you, sir. And we also have a very eminent lady, Shobha Day, who's one of India's best-known columnists and novelist. She began a career in journalism in the year 1970 and founded and edited 3 magazines, that is Stardust, Society and Celebrity. Shobha Day is one of India's top best-selling authors. All her 17 books have topped the charts and created records. She is widely recognized as an opinion shaper and a social commentator. So ladies and gentlemen, here we have Yash Billa and Shobha Day. Kindly receive our token of appreciation. Thank you so much for joining us today. So, Soren ma'am, first of all, let me give you a warm welcome from our side. Thank you very much for joining us. And ladies and gentlemen, have a great session ahead. Thank you very, very much.
Good morning and welcome. On a Sunday morning, I can see a few empty chairs, but I guess the morning after the night before, it's always a little daunting to be up and at a Lit Fest. To see so many numbers is encouraging enough. I am delighted to be here, delighted to be a part of the Lit Fest once again. I love this year's theme, which is romance, love and violence. And Yash Billa's life, an extraordinary life by any standards. There is enough of romance, a lot of love, and a great deal of tragic violence. It's a book that I'm exceedingly proud to present, to publish under the Shobha Day book, which is my imprint under the Penguin umbrella. To get Yash on board initially was a little difficult because he is behind what appears to be a rock star persona, a very deep, spiritual seeker, almost reticent, but certainly someone whose life is worth chronicling. I've known Yash since he was a child. My husband and I were very close and dear friends of his parents. I knew his sister, and Yash's life, I believe, actually began the day he lost both his parents and his sister in one go in a very tragic air crash. He was very young, he was a student, he was in the US at the time, and to have to cope with that, it was his entire family wiped out, literally, in just that one awful, terrible crash. For us also, it was something we haven't completely come to terms with, because the last ever pictures of his parents were with us. They'd spent a Sunday with us, celebrating at our farmhouse. The video of them dancing with abandon, full of laughter, full of life, and a week later, they were gone from his life and from our life and from the lives of all the extended family, the Birla family, and beyond. How Yash struggled to come to terms with that is narrated in a voice that is extremely true. When you read his narrative, there is nothing fake about any of it. You can see Yash, you can hear Yash, you can feel exactly what he must have felt, not just with that turning point in his life, but subsequently when he was thrown into a role which he may not have wanted for himself. And in a large family with all its politics, how he has managed to stay on top of his life most of the time, and how he has really tapped into something within himself, something very deep and profound. He continues to be that seeker. And that is a Yash I love. That's the Yash I connect best to. And I have been to Rishikesh, where he has his home. I've talked to the people of Rishikesh. I know how much he has done for the people of Rishikesh in terms of helping those who need help the most, the really disempowered people of Rishikesh. The roads that he personally, at his own cost, has made sure are clean. What he's done for sick people of Rishikesh. And on the whole, his life is as it reads, a life that is full of commitment, of an order that most of us may not be able to completely understand, because he does live on another plane altogether. And this book chronicles the other Yash, but also talks about his childhood, his growing up years, his wild party days, his first encounter with, I would say, a professional sex worker who was sent to him as a gift by his wilder friends, thinking that it's time that Yash really grew up. And in the book, he talks about being a virgin at that moment and not knowing what this lady exactly what she'd been sent for, and asking her some rather embarrassing questions till she had to spell it out for him as to why she was there and why she'd been sent and why she was a present to him from well-meaning but clearly stupid friends. He talks about meeting his wife Avanti, the resistance to their marriage. He talks about growing up in a very traditional Marwadi home with all its values that often contradicted his own values, or on some level, the choices he made, how difficult it was initially to get Avanti to agree to marry him to start with, and then, of course, subsequently to fit into the family. He has talked equally candidly and equally honestly about the problems he encountered conforming to a business model and a business system that he didn't always relate to. How there were so many people within that family always ready to extend their helping hand, yes, but also wanting to, in a way, control his style of functioning and continue with a system that he didn't always identify with. His father was a very bold and a bold businessman who really played by his own rules. And Yash, in his own way, set many different rules within his organization that he still heads. And that those rules weren't always acceptable. He acknowledges that he may or may not be in exactly the line of business that he would have picked for himself, he acknowledges. And on the whole, the tone of the book is one of just sincerity, transparency, and honesty. Now, for any person who is not a writer and a celebrity author, it is the tradition to find that right voice for that person who can reflect his life accurately, who can establish that rapport with him. At the end of the day, the person who chooses to tell your story, and this is a first-person account, has to inspire trust in the subject of that book. And to find that person is also the job of an editor and a publisher, to make that marriage happen and to have that marriage survive. Because you do spend almost a year and a half, 2 years with that person. You try and meet that person in different contexts, at home, at the workplace, you meet friends, you meet family. You try and get as complete a picture as you possibly can to do justice to your subject and to reflect that person's life in a way that is accurate and truthful. And I was really very lucky to find a young, enthusiastic, and very talented writer in Vishwavir, and I'd like him to just stand up. He said he doesn't want to be on the stage, but he deserves a big round of applause. A big round of applause. He's done a wonderful job. I'm extremely proud of how he's treated the subject and the many, many different times that we have not always been on the same page. Our publishers have not been on the same page. Yash himself may not have been on the same page. We've gone through various drafts of the book, but what has emerged is a book I'm very proud of, and I know Yash will be very proud of. And I'm also very grateful and thankful to Bachi and Namita and the organizers of the Lit Fest for giving us that privilege to actually, what we're doing today is not launching the book. It's like a teaser trailer. It's a sneak preview. I'm carrying the first proofs of the book. I'll try and read a bit of it out to you so that you get the flavor of the book. But they've been very kind to offer this platform to us to announce the book, which will be out early next year. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again. And I will talk to Yash about the writing of the book and what it meant to him. So, Yash, let me start by asking you that to put your life on the line for anybody is